I say good morning, Nigerians across board. Of course, I'm talking to every ethnic group in Nigeria. I am George Onyebi. And of the truth, irrespective of how our point or suggestion or submission is viewed, we will continue to speak out until every form of threat against the supposed minority ethnic group in Nigeria is shred. I'm happy that most ethnic groups are aware of the game. And of course, you know, every living thing, once they are threatened, they develop defense mechanism. They create initiative to improvise in order to survive. And this will not be a different scenario when it comes to the threat we face as minority in Nigeria. We are not calling for war. We are not propagating lies. We have nothing to do with disinformation, and certainly we are not driven by it. But you see, if we fail to do what we are doing now, it will be all history. When Africa was invaded, we responded to this issue in different way. South Africans were happy with those who invaded them. Shaka the Zulu embraced them and allowed them to stay. Today, it's a different ball game. People like Ethiopia fought fiercely. And of course, the imperialists, when they had their way, they did what they had to do. But in the case of Nigeria, I watched a documentary program where a Nigerian was actually interviewing a politician in the UK, asking him, how will you judge the atrocities of your ancestors against the black nation in the name of colonization? This white intelligent man supposedly responded and said that he will not fault the morals. He will not fault the value of his ancestors. So if his ancestors have raped, killed, steal, name and maim, he will not fault it because he said that was the era. And it is applicable to what is happening today. If we fail to resist this expansionist, their children will tell your children in the nearest future that they will not fault the errors. They will not fault the value of their ancestors. And maybe you're beginning to get it. And also, as far as these Igbo Biafra people will not stop begging for unity, we will not stop from exposing the mindset behind what they are doing. If you look at yesterday in my broadcast, somebody asked me a question and say, how come Eka people are answering Igbo name? Amazingly, we shall look into it today. And then at night, I went through the search engines. I want to know the update, to know who I am. Because of Igbo Biafra people, we don't know who we are again. Because everybody now is Igbo Biafra. We are now all Biafra. The same Google search engine told me that Eka people are not Igbo people, but submitted that we are sub-Igbo group, which is an insult. And they talk the rest blah, 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 blah. But I was happy with it. At least some Eka people are working on the search engine already, which I encourage all of you to do. You are a Igbo person. Go to every search engine and every history about us that is wrong, manipulated, falsified. You must begin to challenge them. And then I made for searches, other inquiries, and boom, he went on to see that there is Igbo people in Edo State. Now, fellow Nigerians, of the truth, if the truth be told, are they Igbo people, indigenous Igbo people in Edo State? Don't be in a hurry to answer this question. But this is a rhetorical question that goes to every Nigerian. Is there Igbo people in Edo State? Yet God will say that Eka people are not Igbo people. And the same Gogo went on to move that there are Igbo people in Edo State. And we all know there is no indigenous Igbo man in Edo State. It is only in Orionwa local government. You have the extension of Eka people, Ebake, Imolua, Urua, and so many other ethnic groups. Look at their names. It's not even Igbo name. And their dialect is not Igbo dialect. And so, what is our children supposed to expect? Because my family is divided into two. Half is in Edo State now, and half is in Delta State, because I am a car man. So, will I tell my children in the morning that I'm not Igbo, that I'm a car man, and then in the evening they will goggle that we are Igbo people and in Edo State? That is by the way. And of course, with this and other teething issues, which if unchecked, will lead to our extinction as a people, destruction of our value system. We told this part. You cannot forget in a hurry, we have been with them. I saw them clearly. When they were forming Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu and those who sponsored him, I was with them. I thought they were fighting political imbalance. I thought they were not happy with the irregularity that is the embodiment of the day's governance. I thought they wanted a good Nigerian for all of us. We embrace it. We give it our all. We lay down our life for that cause. Just that he upheld us. He saved us. But then when it was obvious, it was all about the expansionist agenda. It was all about criminality, fraudulence. And it's a danger to my people. I began to ask them questions. I began to challenge the authority. I began to ask for holistic review on what we have done so far. Of course, in the DOS there, I became a threat. And the only thing they could do was to begin to set up other platforms because they know Biafra will not sell again, even for 100 years' time. So they created a platform, Igbo Unification. They approached me and I told them no. Where I come from, I cannot show my father where we were living before. And that is to say, I am not in the position to rewrite that history. I encourage them. I say, go to our monarchs. Whatever they say, that is how it will be. But they were afraid. In fact, I tried to introduce them to one or two monarchs. They sent Ikechukwu Gwoha behind me to begin to Colombi because they already know my stance. And when I discovered the game they were playing, I shut them off. Because they were giving me another junk story and they were deceiving my king. But we are who we are. And one of those days, this Igbo unity beggar went to one king, I will not mention the name, to unify their father and their mother. And then the king put a call to me and said, your people are here. Are you aware? I say, I'm not aware, sir. And if there is anybody there in the name of IPOB Uniting Igbo People, they are fake. I do not know them and I have nothing to do with the mission. And that is how all of them shut up. And what they did was to go and look for Igbo children born in Abo, born in Anyoma, born in Ikwere land, and buy the ones they can buy to begin to do this Igbo unity. It is part of Biafra agitation. And at the same time, because they have a circle, they move on to form the religious bigotry. Because they have something to hide. They are running from Amadioha, but Amadioha will locate all of them. Ebenokpabi, they destroyed it and subject it to Igwe Kana. And they don't want you to know the truth. Religious bigotry is not just about what Matthias Ejoku is doing. It is not just about what Pastor Bukobi is doing. It's not just about what a lot of idiots are yapping and talking about Christianity, Islam, or any other religion. They have an agenda, and the agenda is simple. Religion is the image, or any country without religion identity cannot survive. Any country without religion identity cannot survive. So before you are colonized, they must impose a religion identity on you. This is what most of you don't know. Have you not noticed that Nnamdi Kanu have his own church where they tie wrapper on their head and they say whether it's Arabashirian or Urubushiran or Shakademos, but you know Nnamdi Kanu has his church. They have perfected this plan, just that God had mercy on all of you who are not part of this Igbo Biafra. God have mercy on all of you. Why they are setting up opposing religion identity on us? Because most of you still hopelessly believe that you are a Yehudian or Jewish or whatever religion you think you are. They were all part of the plan. And I did not subscribe to it. And I told them I'm a reverend. And based on exposure, in as much as I will not question Christianity, I accept the good part of it. And I live the corrupt version of it. And my conscience guides me in my religious journey. And nobody violates my conscience. And even what the Bible review is subjected to investigation, interrogation, until its integrity cannot be lowered down. I said I will not get involved. I curse neither Amadioha, neither do I curse Ibenokpabe. I do not curse Ekpentu. I do not curse Shango. I do not call any deity. And I do not insult any religion. I told them I will not bargain for this. They moved on to another circle. They said, let us create a platform for political participation. I said political participation is something I will support. It's just that I'm not a political inclined individual. It's not my style. But that does not mean that it is not your style. It's your franchise. It's your right to vote and to be voted for. I will support it. It makes sense. We started encouraging our people to participate in politics. But I told them frantically, any politician who is already corrupt and we know their work, I will not support such. Maybe it is time a new set of politicians begin to come up. Maybe from the councillor, the chairman, the House of Rep, and the rest of them, and see how they will do. We can encourage the youth to join politics, but not voting for the same old chicken. I never knew Peter Obi was in their mind. And before you know, boom, obedient movement started. We delivered message in code to Peter Obi in Enugu, in the company of Aloy Jimako. We know where all these things are happening. I'm just waiting for Nnamdi Kanu, let him come so that we tell Nigerians how we got here. But I pity for Igbo people who are falling for this. And now this cycle, this cabal are sophisticated. They are advanced. I give it to them. They work very hard. They leave no stone unturned. They are checkmating you from every angle. That is when my friend Babaifa asked me a question and say, what they did to President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's wife in Delta State. What is your view there? Ordinarily, every mature Nigerian and sincere Nigerian will know it's normal. It's Nigerian political normal thing. They will rubbish you. They will demonize you. Just go to my comment section. You will see Igbo people calling me idiot, uncompleted building, useless man. You have run mad. You are a criminal. And that is because I have contrary opinion. That is because they cannot fool me. Because my people, Sonia Mani, he be man. Do you understand? And so, look at Goodluck wife. What did they do to Goodluck Ebere Jonathan wife? Now you carry come. The videos are still there. There is God, oh. There is God, oh. They wait for the slightest opportunity and they rubbish you. In fact, I remember when Nnamdi Kanu assigned 21 social media across the world from different countries, and the instruction was simple: rubbish George Onibe until he cannot open his front door and come out again. And one of them from Ivory Coast called me. He said, what problem do you have with Nnamdi Kanu? I said, no, I don't. We were having issue, but it was supposed to be in-house. The guy said, I know you. You're not a bad person. At least when we went to Cotonou some time ago to have meeting, I saw you. And believe me, in the coming days, we will descend on you. He said, don't take it personal. You know, we have to obey, command and obey and command. Chain of command. You know those rubbish. I told the person my heart is ready. It's just fortunate for me that there is no shame in the womb that gave birth to me. And it is not possible for Nnamdi Kanu. Let them come on. I'll not see them shouting again. Where is Darlington Chibuikem as he de Pepe, as he de expose? We have not even started. We are just warming up. We are testing the temperament of these genuine Igbo people and the hopeless criminal Igbo Biafra people. And then this will determine how we are going to respond. This is just social media thing. But let me not digress further. Having created this scenario to make you understand some of the things why we are not going to back down in a hurry. Until we are sure that nobody will sell the next generation. Not just my people, the entire Nigeria. And those who allow themselves to be fooled because of the greediness of their father. May the Lord be with you. And those of you who will shun this shenanigan for the sake of humanity. May the Lord be with you as well. Of course, he decides who live and who die in the end. And so the topic is simple. 3 major reasons why you should shun Biafra unity beggars. And of course, our team remain truth hidden in plain sight. Drawing this inspiration from the Benin Royal Marks dedicated to Queen Ada. I tried to explain to you in the introduction If you are looking for peace, there is a way to make that peace. You must let them know what is on the table for them. You must let them know what the future holds for them. You must guarantee them that they are secured, safe. You don't just bomb out from nowhere and hire a contractor to unite your father and your mother. And maybe you are better than us, more intelligent than us, most educated tribe in the world. Do everything, you are the best. And so we should fall for you now, you are the God. No. And so the first reason why we will not back down is the falsification of history. Before the creation of Nigeria, there is nobody like Igbo. The colonial master created Igbo. There was nobody like Yoruba. All these ideas of the colonial master, they created languages which we all adopted. All of us fell for it. Look at Nigeria today. We've been here even over 1,000 years before the emergence of the imperialists. We were able to do trade. We were able to communicate across board without using English, because they were actually people who are naturally gifted when it comes to the issue of linguistics. There are a lot of Igbo people that can speak Hausa fluently. There are a lot of Igbo people who can speak Igbo fluently. There are a lot of Yoruba who can speak Hausa fluently. And there are a lot of Hausa who can speak Yoruba fluently from across board. And so in every major transaction, there is always somebody to interpret and now to guide you to this truth. Take an example from Ikure people. The Igbo people were actually the interpreter between the British invaders and the Ikure people, because they have a similar language. And the Igbo man, as at that time, can speak English. And of course, we cannot be ignorant that Obiwale is the first graduate Ikure land. And so they were not that educated. That was then anyway, but they have evolved. And so in every transaction, the Ikure people will ask Igbo person who is interpreting. Of course, if you are Igbo, go and watch the movie known as Ichoku. Maybe you will understand what I'm saying. And that is how they name Ikure people Ikure, Ndi Ikure. Because after the negotiation, they will ask them, Osinoga Azwanya, for instance, 20,000, Ikure. Ikure man go say Ikure. And maybe that is not the truth. But do they have choice? And so when they sit on their own as Igbo people, they mock this ethnic group as Ndi Ikure. That is how Iheronha people become Ikure people today. But they have accepted it. It's a problem.